Now, as we all know, Donald Trump absolutely loves attention. He loves to get the spotlight, and he absolutely loves to make history. However, something tells me that Trump won't be too happy about the fact that he just made history in the worst way. That's right, a historic, humiliating bombshell just blindsided Trump and has his entire administration extremely concerned. How's it going? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Donald Trump constantly talked about winning so much. Now Donald Trump just can't stop losing. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Every time Trump loses, every time Trump so much as even stumbles, America plummets off a cliff. And to make matters worse, the first buddy, Elon Musk, is also continuously getting called out. In fact, recently, an economist explained how Doge has been a total failure.
Musk says he got to 150 billion. If you look at the wall of receipts, it's maybe about 60 billion. So that means, if he's the running back who is going to create all these savings, he got to the 3-yard line. And the 60 billion he saved wasn't even really waste, fraud, and abuse. He turned out to be a politically useful fool who managed to go in and do a bunch of things that Republicans wanted, which is a very, very different story than eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Look, thing is, if you want to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, why don't we have a look at where we know where it is, which is an enormous number of the very richest Americans don't pay their fair share in taxes. That's where the money is. If you want to go where the money is, then that's the problem you got to fix. In fact, this administration's doing the opposite.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then again, for Elon Musk, it makes more sense for him to attack grandma making $60 a day from Social Security rather than even looking at the fact he's making upwards to $8 million a day through government contracts. But it's not just Elon Musk getting called out. Republicans are growing more and more tired of Donald Trump every passing day. Recently, over 30 Republican legal titans joined a case to defend the Constitution.
Almost 36 of them joined us, all Republicans, to say, hey, this is not conservative. They said it to the Supreme Court and to the Court of Appeals, the D.C. Circuit. And those Republicans on those courts listen to my clients. I did that together with Stuart Gerson.
This is a big deal because this includes Republicans from Nixon to Trump 1.0. all speaking out against the president. This, of course, is brutal, but Trump doesn't seem all too concerned about it. In fact, recently, Scott Bessent, the United States Secretary of the Treasury, sat down with ABC News to explain Trump's claim that he's made over 200 deals.
200 deals? Who has he made deals with? Is there actually any deal at this point?
I believe that he is referring to sub-deals within the negotiations we're doing. And, Martha, if there are 180...
But those aren't actual deals.
Okay, so no deals then? Just like 200 negotiations? How do you even make 200 deals? Aren't there only like 193 countries? And now all of Trump's woes have caught up to him with this latest bombshell. That's right, a historic, humiliating bombshell just blindsided Trump. Here it is. Shock poll. Trump's approval ratings plummet to the lowest in 80 years for a president at the 100-day mark.
And Tuesday will mark President Trump's 100th day in office. We have a brand new CNN poll showing Americans are turning on him after propelling him back into office just 6 months ago. According to this brand new poll, Trump's approval rating now standing at just 41%. To give you some context, that is the lowest for any president at this point in his term in the history of modern polling, going all the way back to Eisenhower. This beats the record Trump himself set at the 100-day mark of his first term back in 2017. Trump's approval sliding down 7 points from just late February. There's very little good news in this poll, and for the president, and CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Inton, is joining us here in Washington to break down the numbers. Harry, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
You're here, brand new polling. Where are we 100 days, almost 100 days into President Trump's second term as compared to his first?
I mean, these numbers are just horrible. There's no way to sugarcoat it. And the first way we'll sort of point that out is we'll look at where Donald Trump is now versus where he was 100 days into his first presidency. And you see it here. You don't have to be a mathematical genius. 41% approve of him now. It was 44% back in 2017 around the 100-day mark. And what's so notable here is that throughout his second term as president, he tended to be running ahead of where he was in his first term. No longer is that the case. He has fallen below where he was at this point in his first term. Of course, this is just Trump. Let's compare him to other presidents. And I really think this kind of puts a bow on it. And you can see it here. You see the 41%. That is 12 points below Joe Biden. That's 3 points below where he was in his first term. Look at where Obama was, 63%. He's 22 points below that. And George W. Bush at this point in 2001, he is, again, 21 points below. And as you pointed out in your opening, Jessica Dean, I look back at all of the polling we possibly could long before I was born, and Trump's 41% at 100 days is the worst on record. He has broken his own record for being the worst. The American people do not like what they are seeing at this point from Donald John Trump.
It's just also amazing to see the 60s
not that long ways away.
Yeah, now Trump ran obviously on immigration and the economy. What kind of marks are people giving him on those two issues?
Yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the issues, right? Because it's not just about overall, it's about the issues. There's only one data point where Trump is above 45%. It comes to his handling of gender identity policy. He's at 51%. Every other issue, immigration, where he has long been above water, look at this, below water, 45%. How about the economy? My goodness gracious, he was elected to fix the economy, just 39%. And of course, the tariff war, 34% on that. The bottom line here is just very simply the numbers for Donald Trump are awful, awful, awful in this poll. And then, of course, you look again on the economy, we compare it to where we were back in 2017. You see the 49% there. Look here, 39%, 10 points below where he was. I'm going to make the green mark a little bit better there, 49%. And again, I went back and looked at all the presidents I possibly could since 1977, and Donald Trump on the economy here, it's not just the lowest for this term, it's the lowest for any president on record 100 days into a presidency. Just no bueno, Jessica.
That is really remarkable. Okay, so how confident are people that he's going to use the office of the presidency responsibly?
Yeah, okay, so we're talking about the issues. Let's just talk a little bit here about just the overall way that Donald Trump is going about his business, right? Use presidential power responsibly. No confidence Trump will. Well, back in December of 2024, it was 46%. Look at where we've jumped to now. 54% of Americans have no confidence that Trump will use the power of the presidency responsible. And so this just tells you on every single different data point you could possibly look at, whether it be Trump's overall approval, whether it be the issues for Donald Trump, or how he conducts himself in office, all of these numbers are pretty much terrible for Donald Trump at this point. And so you just see it here. 54% who say that no confidence he's going to use presidential power responsibly. It's just no good, Jessica.
Well, congratulations, Trump. You've made history again for being a grade A failure. I hope that you're happy, because I can tell you right now, America is not. Americans everywhere are fed up with your antics, and now it's finally catching up with you, even in your approval ratings. Trump, please change your ways, or you're only going to see your approval rating continue to go down the drain.